So what am I trying to say is that success depends on you, the values that you have. Some people, their success is about having a mansion. Some people, their success is about driving Lamborghini, Maserati, Mercedes Benz, BMW, and all the luxury. Some people, it's about having a mansion where you have bedrooms, but you can only sleep in one. Their success is so like having multiple, having blue stocks, chips. You look at your bank account, it's growing. However, life is what you make it, and it's all up to you. Your definition of life, your definition of success is not compatible with everybody else's. Through the thick and thin of discrimination, I have, believe it or not, I trained my own manager. Think about a subordinate training a manager who not probably makes double your paycheck because of your color, your creed, religion, ethnicity. And these are those things that the civil rights and human rights are trying to resolve. However, I had to endure through it all. Even at the level I am as a manager, the lowest point is that I've been very totally unappreciated. I'm a model. I know my capacity. I know my talent. I know my abilities. I know my wisdom. I gave it all. Most of the people I trained are above of me and ahead of me to this day. And it hurts.
How has it made you feel?
It makes me feel good. I'm not going to say it makes me feel bad. The reason I say it makes me feel good is because at the end of the day, most of these people who became commissioners, managers, directors, senior directors are not as happy as I am.
Are you a business owner, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, or a professional that have a story to tell, or a product or service that you want to put out there for the world to see? Let's set up an exclusive interview between you and I. All I want you to do is to shoot me an email on info@okanex.com. Let's project your brand, and you'll be glad you did. Thank you. Welcome to Okanex Hangout. On today's episode, our guest is Mr. Emmanuel Azonwu. Welcome to Okanex Hangout.
Thank you very much, Okanex Hangout. It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm humbled. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Azonwu, please, can you take us through your journey, how it all started, and how you got to where you are today?
Thank you, Okanex. And I would say specifically, my journey of life has been very interesting. And I would probably try not to date it back to my childhood because it'd be a long journey. But I'll try to precisely confine it to the journey in America. I came to America in 1982, and I'll give you the opportunity probably to ask me specific questions because obviously, if I have to start my journey from the 82 when I came to America on a student visa, I probably would give so much information that will bore the hell out of
No,
everybody.
go ahead. You're
Okay.
free. Just tell us how it all started.
Okay. Now, so you know, this again, my journey spans over 4.5 decades in America, and it actually goes back to when I came to America in 1982 as a student. I came as a student and got admission as a student, and I went to college in America. So, interesting enough, dialing back to the past. If you ask me, how much did I come to America with? 1,000 naira, which can now buy you pepper soup today in Nigeria. If you go to a liquor store or even a beer parlor, 1,000 naira cannot buy you even 2 bottles of beer. So I am so grateful to God for the opportunity. Sometimes I wish I came from the Stone Age, but here I am telling my story. So I came here and managed the 1,000 naira, which was at the time $4,000, because the exchange rate right now is off the charts. And here I am talking about 1,000 naira that brought me where I am. So I went to college religiously. In that history, I would say to you, it was not an easy journey. My journey stems from being a security guard with West Fargo, where I was making less than $100 a week. And while I was going to college, also, I worked for CBS News as a security guard. And then, as time progressed, I found out that those labors that I was putting in, trying to go to college, was not sufficient. I had to do something extra. And then, trust me, maybe I'm proud, maybe I'm embarrassed to say that I became a taxi driver. And I was operating on the streets of New York, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. I drove through it all and graduated from college, which I'm very proud of. In the midst of that, so you know, I was able to raise 6 graduates in Nigeria, paying their tuition, giving them food, shelter, clothing, the basic necessities, which to this day, I'm yet to see anyone who has broken that record. And through those struggles, I confronted a lot of life-threatening situations. They have pulled guns on my head. The most prominent, which I'm not going to try to labor so hard, was at the back of City College, where they had a gun to my head, telling me to give up my vehicle and the money, and I fought back. I wound up in Columbia Hospital as a student trying to make a living. So I thank God, and I cannot appreciate the opportunity of sustaining and being very, I would say, resilient through all the hardships to graduate from college. And after that, I also drove taxi for another year because I graduated in 1984. After that, I had to drive taxi again to go to graduate school. And by the grace of God, I got admission to study for my master's degree, and I never fell short of the GPA. I was always competitive. That GPA would speak for itself because it wasn't an easy journey whatsoever. But when I went to do my master's degree, I had some money because I saved for 1 year, and I graduated with, like, they gave me dean's list. I had dean's list on my undergrad, and I had dean's list on my graduate program. I have a book that I'll share with you tonight after this interview to show you how far I have come through it all and the struggles. And I stand tall to say, while I was going to college through my struggles, I also raised 6 graduates. And those are facts, not fiction.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Can you take us your journey in New York City Department of Finance?
Thank you, sir.
Your
Now,
37 years career
absolutely.
and still counting.
I love it.
Take us through that
I love
route.
it.
Yeah.
The route is that I graduated from Lehman College. Like I stated to you, I have a master's degree in accounting and taxation, a journey of being a taxi driver at the time. But then again, I had such a great academic performance that the school was interested in me to hire me to teach in the same school that I graduated from. Ironically, my son had the same call where he taught in the same school he graduated. So the issue is this. When I went to Lehman College, I graduated in Lehman College. I got my master's degree in taxation and finance. And the City of New York Department of Finance was interviewing and recruiting. Believe it or not, they came to Lehman College to recruit. And I was one of the candidates whom they interviewed. Ironically, or probably by coincidence of my luck, out of 14 candidates that they interviewed, they chose me. They chose me. And I was asked to start work in a week because they were very highly impressed. So when I was teaching in Lehman College as an assistant professor, whatever you may call it, because I already graduated, they recruited me to work for New York City Department of Finance. And when I went for the interview, I aced above and beyond everybody else. And that is where I say to myself, God is with me. Contrary to anybody who does not believe in God, it was the call of my destiny. So I started work in 1988 as a junior tax auditor. I started June 13th, 1980. Did I get it correct?
I wouldn't know.
No.
You did it.
So the point, I'm 88.
Okay,
That
88.
was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was shortly after my master's degree.
Okay.
And I've come a long way. And I like to expand on that because when I started work there, I had no experience working anywhere. As God will have it. Everybody admired me because also, just like when they interviewed me at Lehman College, when they interviewed us, I asked out everybody else. They asked me to start work immediately. And I started work at the Department of Finance. It didn't stop there. I became nothing but a role model, icon, and an exemplary to all the African folks because I'm African. And because it's not because of my look, because I'm not sure that I'm one of those who look good, but because of my performance. The department gave me a lot of opportunities to do public speaking prominently, which was what they call the tax rap practitioner representative forum. I was there at Omni Hotel in Manhattan, where I was singled out because even in the department, I had a lot of senior people who were ahead of me. But I found out that God and talent found me to be front and center. And the commissioner of finance at the time sat with me at the high table. And I delivered a lot of messages, which has sustained me to this day. So I am so thankful and grateful that in the department, historically, I am one of those icons or role models who would be identified as a bank or financial institution specialist. If I'm given the opportunity, except the fact that I'm still employed, I will identify all the biggest Fortune 10, not 100, Fortune 10 corporations in Wall Street, including banks that I've audited. And I'm very proud of it. Thank you. So, right now, I have a position as a manager in the department, and I've been involved in several trainings. And I've interviewed lots of people, promoted lots of people, and I promoted people to my level as I speak because I always told them, if you are a great leader, you must take everybody along. So you know your predecessor and your successor. If you're a predecessor and you cannot take your successor to your level, then you have failed. I'm a believer in taking everybody along because your greatness is not about your personal achievements, but your successors' achievements as well. Thank you.
Can you take us through your day to day as a tax auditor? What do you do? What is it all about?
Thank you. I'm no longer a tax auditor, regrettably, because I kind of enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, coincidentally, I was displaying to some of my subordinates what I did when I was a tax auditor. And by the way, I was a field tax auditor. I wasn't like someone who sat in the office making decisions. I was traveling everywhere in the 50 states of the United States, enforcing tax laws as it pertains to New York City. I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Florida, I've been to California, I've been to Buffalo, I've been to Rochester, I've been to, let's say, Even Niagara Falls. I've been to Canada. I've been everywhere. Forget about anywhere that is within, whether you call it Connecticut. I've been everywhere. I've been to Philadelphia.
So what does it take? What your day to day then?
Then it was interesting because, again, I was a tax auditor who was involved in all the industries: pharmaceutical, banking, brokerage, distribution, any industry that you can imagine. But the thing I had obsession was the banking industry. I was also obsessed with the broker dealer industry, which were, I would say, instinctively or inherently was my interest, because it kind of reflects back to where my life started. I started as a banker. I was trained as a banker, and I love financial industry, and that's what I lived on, and that's what I succeeded on. So the fact of the matter is that to be a tax auditor, you have to be objective. You also have to be very open. You cannot say somebody owes taxes, because tax enforcement is not easy. It's a matter of understanding and interpreting the tax law. Dealt with lawyers, dealt with CPAs, dealt with even independent tax directors and CPAs. And I love my job because guess what? At the end of the day, when I show up in your premises, you know something is cooking. At the end of the day, I may wind up giving you money back. I may wind up asking you for money. But I have to be neutral, objective, and I have to make sure that I comply with the tax law. I love my career. As an immigrant in America, I enjoy the travel. Sometimes I go for 2 weeks out of town, leave the comfort of my home in pursuit of tax enforcement, to make sure that New York City is collecting the correct amount of tax, to fund the fire service, to fund the police, sanitation, and everything else that run this mosaic city that I've worked for the past 37 years,
Okay.
which I'm proud of.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that.
Yeah.
Yes. So you've been with Department of Finance for 37 years, as
Yes.
you rightly mentioned. So what kept you committed to public service for so long?
What kept me committed to public service is the fact that I love transparency. I love honesty. I always say to people, civil. You have to be civil, and you have to be a servant. That's a double English language, because if you're not civil, you act like crazy, go out there and accuse somebody of owing the government for something they don't owe. But you also have to be a servant, meaning you have to serve the public. In my career, I've always served the public privately and publicly. Even as the first son of the family, I've served everybody. So the fact of the matter, my passion of this profession is transparency, is making sure that you do not accuse someone of owing taxes when they don't, because you have to be neutral. I'm not going to come and tell you, you owe this amount of tax. I'm just doing enforcement. Tax enforcement is about complying with the law. In my career, I've given some corporations, banks, and Wall Streets, I've given them over $500,000 in refunds, because what was suspected to be non-compliance turns out to be in their favor. So that objectivity, neutrality, and transparency means a lot to me as a civil servant. Because, to be quite honest with you, it's not about personal mission. I'm not looking to line my pocket. I'm looking to comply. Whether I bill you 1 million, 2 million, 5 million does not translate into my payroll. I always told people that my paycheck does not depend on how much I collect. My paycheck neither relies on how much refunds I give taxpayers. So I am Mr. Neutral. neutrality, fairness, transparency, equity, and fairness. Again, I use the word fairness means don't judge a book by its cover. Read it, see what is inside, and please be open minded. Don't say because I see something is red, it's red. Essentially, I'm not a judge by profession because I'm not a lawyer. I have the judge's mentality where you have to follow the facts and make a decision based on the facts. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. I have another question. What was one of the lowest points in your journey that actually led to one of your greatest breakthroughs?
Again, as a black man, let's be honest about it, because I speak from my heart. I've been through the thick and thin of discrimination. I have, believe it or not, I trained my own manager. Think about a subordinate training a manager who not probably, makes double your paycheck because of your color, your creed, religion, ethnicity. And these are those things that the civil rights and human rights are trying to resolve. But I remember a manager that I was reporting to who did not know about the job. I was the one that was put in charge to train him for 2 years. He was making doubly my payroll. However, I had to endure through it all. And at a point where I was asking him, do something for me, do something for me. Even at the level I am as a manager, the lowest point is that I've been very totally unappreciated. I'm a model. I know my capacity. I know my talent. I know my abilities. I know my wisdom. I gave it all, but I have nothing to show for it because most of the people I trained are above of me and ahead of me to this day, and it hurts.
How has it made you feel? How does it make you feel? How do you feel?
It makes me feel good. I'm not going to say it makes me feel bad. The reason I say it makes me feel good is because at the end of the day, most of these people who became commissioners, managers, directors, senior directors are not as happy as I am. Because when I look back and I see my good deeds, those deeds I have given to people make me feel happy. Because life is not about wealth of materiality. It's not about control. It's not about your ego. It's about you feeling happy that you've done good to humanity, that you pleased your conscience, that you delivered, make someone better than they were. I promoted everybody who were under me to my level to this day. And I'm one of the most beloved managers in the department. And they call me, even those who have moved on, to be better people in terms of economic and advancement. I've made millionaires. I don't have to be a millionaire. I'm a millionaire because I'm healthy, I'm happy. And I feel my mission on this earth is not about being the richest person, but rather about being the happiest person. I gave you the history of my life where, as a student, I was also bringing up students. And on my watch, I have siblings, 6 graduates brought up while I was still struggling through getting my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. So, listen, to be honest with you, if God calls me tomorrow, I'm one of the happiest persons on earth. Because if you can take everybody along and lift people up greater than you, then you're a great man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. When people look at you from the outside, they see success. But what's something they don't see that's a major part of your story?
What they don't see is the well of loneliness, the well of death, the well of will to do better, the well of disappointment that I cannot take care of every problem that surrounds me. They don't know the person they see outwardly is not the person that is inwardly, because I struggle with it. I wish I can make everybody's life better. I wish I could make people happy. And practically, when I go to work, people have told me, most of my staff members who are in department or left the department, you know what they say to me, which gives me satisfaction. They say to me, Manny, when we think about going to work and know you're going to be there, we are happy. And this transcends white, Jewish, black, Muslim, woman, male, bisexual, homosexual. I am someone that has accommodation. And it gives me satisfaction. Accomplishment is not about materiality. It's not about recognition outwardly. But inwardly for me, I feel great. I feel good. When I go to sleep, I could close my eyes and I feel satisfaction that I did the best I can for humanity to make someone happy. I feel that I still have a lot of work to do to lift people up. Those who feel that someone does not understand them, appreciate them, or recognize them. I recognize everyone, creed, race, religion, ethnicity, size, name it, color, don't matter. Life is beautiful if you love people, appreciate people, understand people, and do the best you can to lift them up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me come personal again.
Okay.
Being a husband and a father of three, how did you manage to balance family life with such a demanding public career?
Thank you for that question. When I reflect and reminisce on the past, I think it comes with your focus in life. We can make or break our future, and we can also prosper because we have determination and dedication and devotion. I came from a religious background. I also came from a very strongly traditional background. And I believe in prosperity. I drove my children crazy because I was very ambitious. I always told them. I even bring a booklet which is in this house. I said to them, as a taxi driver, as a security guard, as a delivery guy, I made the dean's list in America. And I was able to raise 6 graduates in my life. I was able to be stable and steady without falling on the paths of the street, doing drugs, drinking, and all the nonsense, all the illness that is out there. And I challenged them. I says, you better be better than I. And I challenged them. I say, at the age of 17, I already left my family home to be an independent man. And believe it or not, they did exactly that because I challenged them. So what am I trying to say is that success depends on the values that you have. Some people, their success is about having a mansion. Some people, their success is about driving Lamborghini, Maserati, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and all the luxury. Some people, it's about having a mansion where you have bedrooms, but you can only sleep in one. Their success is like having having blue stocks, chips. You look at your bank account, it's growing. However, life is what you make it, and it's all up to you. Your definition of life, your definition of success is not compatible with everybody else's. Some people don't have good health. Health is wealth. I'm a very wealthy human being because I don't have to wake up in the morning to take any medication to get by. I've not seen a doctor. I can brag about it. Besides my dental issue, my vision issue, but I can see clearly. I can also eat all the goat meat and the oxtail. I can also run. I can talk. I can dance. Let me tell you something. I'm one of the happiest human beings on earth. Not because I have money. I get by with my little paycheck, but health is wealth. I
Okay.
enjoy beautiful food. Eat food. Don't eat medication. Don't abuse your system drinking, smoking, partying, not sleeping, eating fried food, chicken, fried chicken. I'm not a health analyst. But then again, the way God has blessed me to this day, I cannot be more appreciative. Because when I wake up in the morning, I usually wake up 3 o'clock or before 3 to prepare to go to work. And I work in New York. So I'm always in my office at 7 o'clock. 4 o'clock, I must leave because I have 4 different transportation means. I have to drive, take the bus. I also have to take the train, and I have to work. I mean, you have to, when life gives you lemon, you have to make lemonade. And most people love lemonade. If you give them lemon, it won't suck on it because it really is tart. It's not delicious. But when you put the lemon and put some sugar, and your sugar is because of your mindset, put sugar on it, and you'll enjoy the lemonade of life and be happy. A lot of people don't keep yourself miserable because you think you're entitled to anything. No, we're not entitled to anything. Thank you.
If you are to advise your younger self 20 years back,
Yes.
what would the advice be? Knowing what you know now.
I don't think I can advise myself better than what I did 20 years ago. On the contrary, what I'm doing right now, I'm disappointed in myself because the achievements I had at the age of 20 is greater than what I'm doing right now. Because I'm feeble, I'm frail, I'm old, I'm weak. And when I look back, I feel so badly about myself because people have not appreciated what I did for them, including my siblings, family members, and friends. So, how can I want to do the 20 years ago? I was ignorant, I was generous, I was kind. And now that I have realized the life thread that I went through, I'm not really particularly, a happy camper, knowing that people don't appreciate.
Okay. What do you have for our audience that will be tuning into this podcast and hearing Mr. Emmanuel as what do you have for them?
What I will have for my audience is this: be yourself, do good and right to humanity. Do not model your life in accordance with those who surround you. Because everybody wants to use you, everybody wants to abuse you. It's a fact, whether it's your sibling, friends, or family. It is very rare where people will come around you just because it is you. They come around you because there's something about you. And that you is your character, your integrity, your personality, and your honesty, and above all, your kindness. Be good to everybody across the board. Do not regret anything you've done good to anyone, but regret the bad you've done to people. Because so you know, for every bad thing you did, you're going to pay the price. And every good thing you did, you're going to get the premium. When you go to sleep, knowing you've done everything that you can to do right by anybody or by the society, you could sleep pretty without fear of anything that would come around you. Because I have enjoyed the fact of life whereby I wake up in the morning, I don't think or feel like I've done wrong to anybody. And that is the secret of my happiness. Happiness trumps everything else. And love, above all, love everyone, whether your enemy or your friends. Love them and pray for them that they appreciate your uniqueness. You're not going to absolutely even inherit or enjoy the fruits of your labor. Not even 10%. If you're lucky, 10%. But it's not happening.
What's the most rewarding part of your career?
The most rewarding part of my career is to just be happy that I am a part of revenue enforcement in New York City. I am one person that has helped New York City to collect all the taxes that are due to the city, to help fund the big, most gigantic city in the whole world, New York City. Because you have the fire service, you have the police, you have the transit, you have the sanitation, and on and on. If also you have all the social welfare system. So I am so happy to know that in my career, I've collected billions and billions of dollars that would have been lost in on enforcement by making sure that I followed the tax code, that I enforced the tax code to keep the city running, because I am a pivotal part of New York City, one of the greatest city in the world.
Okay.
So I feel good when I see that New York City sanitation is running. I feel good to know the police enforcement is running. I feel good to know that the lights are on. I feel good to know that these people who are downtrodden and poor are getting financed, sponsored to collect their little amount of money to pay their bills and survive on it. I also feel good, even most importantly, to know that our rules are maintained. That is my satisfaction, because I happen to be one that loves to see that New York City has its revenue to finance. That's why it's called Department of Finance. We are financing all the departments that run the city. Thank you.
Maz, as customary to this platform, you know, we try to unveil resilience, strength, and success stories. There's no way you've achieved everything that you've mentioned, your rigors, your career, your 37 years and still counting. So want you to take us through the part of your resilience, how you started, the challenges you encountered, at some points that you wanted to quit, but you decided to persevere till you got to where you are today. Can you take us on that route, please?
Thank you very much, my brother. Um, Talking about resilience, that was key and still key and will always be key to your success in life. You never surrender, you never quit, you never give up. Um, I came to the United States of America in 1982 as a student after my banking career. Now, my first career was being a security guard with West Fargo. And I was a security man at Gate 2 in CBS. And that gate was where all the celebrities came. And I saw all of them: Muhammad Ali, Carter, anybody that was a celebrity that came for interview, I saw. But then while I was doing that, I was still a student. And it's interesting to know that I was a part of National Dean's List. I will show you the booklet eventually when we finish the interview. I studied through it all. I usually stay awake at night while at the post of a security guard. When I have my lunch break or my break, I go and study. And I made the National Dean's List while in college during that time. But I give, thank you. But I give all that credit to my determination and my career path when I was a banker in Nigeria. While I was a banker, I was studying for AIB, Associate Institute of Bankers exam. While I was a banker in Nigeria, I also took the GCE A level, and I scored all my courses. And so studying, doing all that was not any big deal for me. So I started college 1982 and I graduated 1984 with a bachelor's degree. I carried all the credits, all the loads I could, because I was an immigrant with no money. I came as a student, don't get me wrong. So, it was 1,000 naira that I came to United States outside my tuition. That was what sustained me. And I had to work on the side to be who I am today. Now, after I finished my bachelor's degree, I went into driving taxi in the Bronx. I went through terrible experiences with drug dealers, with all these street criminals. I was accosted not one, not two, but three times with a gunpoint. Two of the occasions, they took my vehicles. One, I had to run to escape from my life. So I was a taxi driver. I was a security guard. And after I finished my bachelor's degree in 1984, I was still determined to go further. I took a year break to make money to pay my tuition. And 1985, I took a complete break to pay my tuition. And I started my master's degree in 1986. And by 1988, I had a master's degree in accounting and finance. Sorry, not accounting and taxation. So you know, from City University of New York. So it was the same school I was teaching. They recruited me because of academic excellence. They recruited me to teach the students who were backwards. And they call it was a special program where I was recruited to teach them the rudiments, elementary understanding of accounting, taxation, and auditing. And that was where I had my beginning. Then New York City Department of Finance came there to recruit. They found me a capable candidate. We were 12 candidates. I was the only one they chose. And I thank God for that. In my banking career, also going back, like dialing back, I knew we were 13 candidates who were interviewed. We took exams, all of us passed. But after interview, it was two of us, and I was one. So I've never been unemployed in my life. I've always held true to my own destiny, my career, and everything. So I love my career. And the reason I love it is that I have grown from being a tax auditor one, tax auditor two, tax auditor three, to being a supervisor. From supervisor, and I have become a manager. I've been through the thick and thin I've seen all kinds of personalities and human beings. I've been managing white, black, yellow, China, name it. I've had supervisors working under me who are white, Jewish, name it, anything. My supervisor, who was Italian, incidentally, I became his supervisor. He was a very brilliant man. Now, your supervisor, you became his supervisor in an American setting. And we became so close. To this day, he's my friend. And he was the one who taught me bank tax. Bank tax was the most complex of the taxes I've experienced or enforced. He taught me. I was good at it to the extent that I became a supervisor that was supervising my supervisor.
How did that happen, please?
It happened because
That's a unique one.
It happened because I was very dynamic. And I also had a good relationship with the taxpayers. You see, tax enforcement, you cannot be perfectly right and you cannot be perfectly wrong. It's a matter of your adaptation to the situation, your attitude, your character, your personality, and your charisma. I thank God for my charisma and my personality, because when push comes to shove, where people could not have a resolution, because it's a matter of coming down, sitting across each other, and getting to the table to negotiate how we can resolve it. For some reason, God gifted me with the tongue to talk peace and find resolution. Jewish people, Irish people, Italian people, name it, even Chinese people, they were my staff. And with any case to this day that we have settled, we use it settlement, is because I know the words to say and how to say it. Those cases could have gone to court. We could have won, we could have lost. So I have nothing but appreciation for the kind of personality, for the character, for the intelligence, for the wisdom, for the knowledge that God has given me. In fact, I celebrate myself before anybody could celebrate me. So the success I've had in my career as a black man, as an African man, was not by luck. It's by my own attributes, my traits, my dedication, my devotion, and also my career instincts have taken me this far. Because a lot of times when my staff come to me, they say to me, Manny, we love you. When people tell you that, they love you, they are at peace with me, they are comfortable with me. I relate to people as a human being. I cannot thank God enough. For that 37 years, it wasn't by sudden flight. When I was a junior tax auditor, all the commissioners, imagine their levels, they trusted me. And I went to the public and I delivered. And the things I do in the staff meetings, I enjoy training. People I've trained have become even commissioners, they have become managers, they have become directors. You can name it. I'm not competing with anybody, but there's a gift God gave me, and I enjoy it to this day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, all through your career, what one toughest decision you've ever made?
One toughest decision I've made and I continue to make is to fire people on the job. And it wasn't, it has never been easy for me. At least I've fired people severally. Ironically, I've always been used as a reference of some manager or supervisor who fired people and they say good about me. They say Manny is a good manager. Manny is a good supervisor. Manny is a good person. And I'm talking of the people I fired, none of them is white. I fired Jewish. As a matter of fact, I fired two Jewish professional staff. I fired Italian, I fired Indian, and I fired Latinos. But the greatest thing the department says they don't know how it is that after I fired somebody, they write something good about me
So, how do you do it?
because I give everybody a chance to get out of their situation. I believe that humanity, compassion, and understanding personalities have become the essence of my prevalence in terms of people not. You see, when you take somebody's job away, they should hate you, but they don't. They call me. And the reason I say that is that when you're not performing the job up to the level of expectation, or you're not doing your due diligence, I call you in, I talk to you, we become friends. I say, please, let's do this, let's do that. I don't want you to lose your job. Let's work together. It's a matter of humanity, passion, and compassion. I relate to you like a child, like an adult, like your pastor, like your priest, like your brother, like your family. And I'll tell you the truth. I say, please, these are areas you're not doing well. And I'll be patient enough to work with you. And before I let you go, I'll let you know that this is not for you. And it's not working out for you. If I were you, move out of here before I get rid of you. However, human beings, you have to wait for the knife. When I pull the knife, I don't kill you. I just say to you, goodbye and good luck. And they come back. Some of them will buy me coffee. Some of them will take me to lunch just to thank me for putting with their patience. And I learned that patience because my mom had 11 children, 9 boys, and I'm the first son and the first child. I dealt with all the children that my mom had. And I know that we are all different people, character wise. We have different understanding of the world. We have different personalities and we have convergent opinions. Do not judge everybody like one size fits all. No, one mind does not fit everybody's mind. People have their character and personality. So you have to find a way to navigate around these people. So my greatest challenge and pain is having to say to someone, you're fired. Bye-bye. Don't come back anymore. And I take all your ID, your computer, and everything, all the equipments that you were using to work for the department. And unfortunately, I have to write you up. The memo usually is the hardest thing. I have to justify why I'm firing you. And the last day, I'll walk you to the elevator, show you the elevator, take your ID away, and you're gone. You cannot come back. It's very painful. That is probably the hardest thing in my career. I've done it, continue to do it. I've had to fire somebody last year. And the mom called me, the father called me, and everybody called me to say, I'm one of the best human beings she's ever met in her career. She's been fired several places. But I put her in my shoes. And I said to myself, I empathize with you. And I also sympathize with you because I have to put you in my blood. I have to put you in my mind, in my spirit. And I know that this is your day that you're not going to get paid again. It's compassion, it's humanity.
Okay, thank you. Though it was quite emotional,
Yes,
but it is what it is.
it is.
So, what advice do you have for our audience that are looking up to this podcast? You know, what?
I'll say to your audience, keep it clean. Whatever you do in your life, make sure you preserve your character, your integrity, and also make sure honesty at all times. Do not cut corners because unfortunately, a lot of things are happening out there where we have normalized criminality. We've normalized lying, scheming, conniving. I never grew up with those kind of characteristics. To this day, I cannot tell you how I appreciate myself. You could go and Google who I am. I have a clean slate. And I taught that to my children. I have two medical doctors. I have one lawyer. I taught them to make sure your character, your integrity, and your honesty. You don't have to have money. I'm not afraid somebody knocking on my door and at any given time, I'll open it because I don't have anything. I'm transparent. As a matter of fact, if I do anything, I'll be one to tell you what I did wrong or right. There's no secret in my life. Transparency. I use that word all the time. But most importantly, my audience, please, in your career, your personal lives, keep it clean. Try to be honest. Try to have character. Not character does not mean bad character. Have good character. Have integrity, where somebody can use you as a reference. And always make sure that you are not trying to be Mr. A and B and C. Be who you are. Keep yourself the way God created you. Stay true to yourself. Don't fake, don't lie. Because sometimes people will come around and they try to convert you to be who they are. But you're not, that's not your comfort zone. Be at your comfort zone where when you wake up in the morning, when you sleep at night, you know that's who you are. Be yourself. Most importantly, always be ambitious. Do not expect what you did not sow. Reap what you sow. Don't go and try to cut corners to sow. Reap what you did not sow. Rome was not built in a day. And nothing comes from nothing. If you did not put something, don't expect something. Put your money where your mouth is and put your mouth where your money is. We invest something to get something. Don't try to reap something overnight because it's not going to be, it will be crooked. If you put your money in stocks, it will grow. If you lose, it's okay. Put money in the bank, it grows interest, reap it. But don't reap what you never sowed. And don't have any expectations. You'll be the happiest person. When you wake up in the morning, you do not expect anything from anybody. On the contrary, be kind, be generous to anybody, and forgive, love, live, and laugh. Enjoy the sunshine, the air, all the free thing. The greatest thing of all in life are free. Because those things that are not, look at water, you go buy spring water. Though there are people who are living in spring water environment, they're enjoying it free. Somebody is making billions of dollars out of it. You'll be surprised to know that most people who are in the third world countries are happier than us because an average man does not care about cell phone. Let me not elaborate too much. All I'm saying is, all those who are listening to me, I can tell you that I'm one of the happiest persons on earth, because I don't worry about anybody that I've hurt, because I don't do that. I don't worry about, I'm not afraid of who's going to knock on my door, because I have integrity, I have character, I have honesty. Don't rip anybody off. Keep it clean. Thank you. Be honest. Be honest. Tell yourself the truth. Don't lie, manipulate, connive, and scheme. At the end of the day, it's going to catch up with you. And another thing I would like to say to you now, before we get off that topic, is that on my job, I get investigated every year because I can give a company $2 million in penalty abatement. That's what we call it. I can also make a deal. If you owe 10 million, I can give you $2 million discount. At the end of the day, I don't get a penny. You can't take me to lunch. You can't buy me no jewelry, no property, nothing. So I give it because I'm a civil servant, not because I'm only a civil person. I'm also a servant of the society. I keep it clean. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, looking around, can you tell us more about them?
Well, as you look around, let me start with my dean's list. This is a national dean's list,
Okay.
which I obtained during my undergraduate. Now, when you look around, you will see there is Uguatani, which is my village. And Uguatani, my village, recognized me as a man of integrity, as a man of goodwill, and a public servant, but most of all as a philanthropist. If you look, the other one is Zucaro, New York, New Jersey, 1992 to 1995. I was the secretary of Zucaro, and during that tenure. If you look also to the other one, President's Award, because I was president from 2000. So I inaugurated Attorney Welfare Union, and I was the first president that ruled from 2007 to 2011. And then the other one that is like a glass, that even if I'm not seeing the details, I was a board of trustee with at Aruchuku Progressive Association of America, which I'm still a member. You look at the Rotary Club. Now, this one, this was awarded to me by Ezogo Atani Charles Kanu Okoro on his 10th coronation anniversary. And then this one, Aroachara, which is my, I call it my plantation. They gave me an award of honor right there. Uguaro, which is the highest. I think I showed it to you. And this is the last one, which was given to me last year. We were like 300 candidates, and only 31 emerged. Wow. It was not easy. So, and so I thank God for that, because it was not an easy flight. And by the king of the village gave that to me, in combination with Nzukaro worldwide. So I am so blessed, because I cannot thank God enough, because I'm blessed. So indeed, I have blessed. So many awards. Even on my job, I have a lot of awards. I left it at the job, because I don't want to commingle my job with my personal life. So I want to separate them. And by the grace of God, this year I have to retire, so I can start enjoying my life. Wow. Yes. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Obonea as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's really enjoyed hanging out with you on Poker Next Hangout.
Oh my God, we will be hanging out a lot more, because there's so much good in my life to celebrate.